Yeah.
Years ago, this is a long time ago, I was driving from Houston to Waco, Texas. Don't ask me why I was driving from Houston to Waco, Texas, but I was. I wasn't driving, I was in passenger. And I did an experiment. I had a microphone, but the microphone, we didn't have a recorder, so people would be talking. I don't know how I got it there. People would be talking. I get the cord of the, not the microphone cord, but the cord place that you plug into a recorder. I'd go, stick it in my mouth and put the microphone in front of somebody's face and then stop talking. Like, they'd be chatting away and they'd become tongue-tied as soon as the appearance of a microphone, knowing that the cord of the microphone is in my mouth. Don't ask me about that's, that's right. But there's a microphone around. It's funny how people act. Actually talking about Stephen. Anyway, guys, this is week 2 of our Business Builders Academy. And we're going to be talking about systems. And so just write down a lot of notes, guys. Remember, the whole goal of BBA is to advance you forward through the position of active world team. And active world team is, between 70 and 80% of active world team members become global expansion team members. Global expansion team is where the income of $5,000 to $15,000 comes into it. When you're sitting here, listen to what, in this case, us, what we're saying, because in a very short period of time, you will be doing these workshops. Like we just heard a product demonstration early tonight, a product story that I thought was extraordinary. How many of you guys have ever heard that? I'd never heard that. And by the way, she will be doing the product training on Saturday week, and she is doing a little cameo on Saturday at the Success Summit. So, what I'm saying, that every one of us have got something important to share, right? And the magic of what we do is everybody's going to have an opportunity, depending upon what you do. What you do, everybody's going to have an opportunity. I mean, even Bruce with his cooking. Bruce is a business guy. He runs a heck of a big business. He's a tough business guy, and they're making us jelly. Wasn't that jelly? And chocolate mousse. And so there's an opportunity for every single one of us. It wasn't that long ago that Ruby, you wouldn't say boo to a goose. And now she's given us cooking demonstrations. And I will be telling Darla, who is watching, it was delicious, Darla, you didn't get any. So anyway, over to you.
Okay, well, when do you want to do that?
I'm out.
Okay. So we're going to do the Mark Hughes videos first, and then we're starting late, but we're going to start with some wins. And I know that Karen is going to share her win, but we got others who want to share their wins from what we learned last week before we move into week 2. But we'll watch the Mark Hughes videos, because if you ever get stuck in anything, you go to YouTube and you watch Mark Hughes. Like if you got stuck in anything, everything that you actually need to know comes from the person who started the company and took the company to, what, 5 billion?
5 billion. Yep.
5 billion? Like if you get stuck, just go and watch the videos, because that is probably where you will get back to basics. But it was grade 9? The 9th grader can build a massive enterprise. We all finished school, so hey, you all can do it.
We all finished.
We didn't
Oh,
finish
sorry. So even if you didn't finish school, you can get the president's team.
Since I'm following that, I got to year 10, but I only had 3 marriages. He had 4. It's gone.
Okay, did you get that? Yeah.
Okay.
Keep it off all this stuff.
could have set people down one-on-one. Would that work? Of course, okay? So one of the great things about Herbalife is anything will work, okay? The question is how fast it works, how quick it works for you, and more importantly, how quickly it works for the people that you get in, okay? And so I was always interested in fast, okay? What's happening to our technology today?
Because we don't restart it, so that's okay. We will come back to those videos when it's completely started. When it's fixed. Let's start with just what he said then. Why does he do opportunity meetings? What did we hear him say? Why did we listen? So let's actually listen. Why did he do opportunity meetings?
Faster.
When you go to a fast start. Yeah. Do we all want to get off? Sorry, say Bill?
Yeah,
Reach more people, off to a fast start.
Use the meetings to do the work.
Use the meetings to do the work. Yeah, there's a real power in the meetings, and we're going to talk about that tonight. So tonight is about how to actually effectively use the meetings so that you don't have to do one-on-one for you to take twice, 3 times, 10 times as long than when you're doing it as a group and as a community. But let's go back from week 1. Who had some wins from week 1? Oh, great. Melly, please share. And can you just
I printed out what you put on our page, printed that out, read through it word for word yesterday, and the woman kept saying, but what is it? What is it? I said, good question. Now, paint me your picture. Well, she was not impressed with all that. Finally went through the rest of it, and well, what's the company? And I told her, oh, I'm not interested in that. Goodbye. Thank you. But it weirded her out. Yeah. Today I had a totally different conversation with a woman. Really happy, really friendly. So paint me your picture in 5 years' time. I want to be out of the hospital environment. I want to do this, 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 and this. And she's coming along Tuesday night.
Right. I'm going to come back to that. I see the yes part. Karen, you're going to share. Please, you can come up the front, and then whoever else had wings.
I pulled out our prospect box. I don't know. Does everyone know what a prospect box is? Yeah. So I'd spoken to this lady about 2 months ago. I was getting a pedicure done, and we're having a conversation. And George we had the last week was about prospecting, and even George mentioned at the end, we need to make sure we get to those boxes. I said, yeah, I need to pull one back out. So there's a good point to make. Don't stop doing the things that were working or that are, I had for a whole month, did nothing. So I pulled that box out. I thought, I've got to start calling these people, and I recorded because Bianca said, I'm going to say this, record now if you're ready to go. Now, I have actually got that script, but even though I had the script, I knew I still recorded it. And I'm glad I did, because then today we've been playing cat and mouse with this lady, and today I'm thinking, oh, I haven't got my book, I haven't got my script, I haven't got my details, thinking, oh, I recorded it last week. So I wrote down the script again and called the lady, and she's coming next Sunday. She asked a few questions too. I said, you know what, you've actually got 100 questions, and they're going to be answered when we sit down and have a chat. Let's meet up. So it's worked out. So she's coming faster.
I'd like to share some wins. Yep, David.
Okay. So listening from the calls, obviously a prospect range presence team, one thing that really stuck to me was always being project mode. So really, a lot of planning there. But it does pay off. So through that and prospecting, obviously, in project mode for each one, this whole week, actually every meeting so far, I've already lined up guests coming in. And out of the 4 that come in, 2 have already signed up. So to me, that was a 50% ratio already success rate there. So, and even then, even though we'll be here in Geelong, I'm still going to obviously try and fill up for next week. So, and then that will work on. So, yeah, so that really helped me a lot.
Anybody else want to share any wins that they might have had? Yes?
I had a girl at work, and there is a partner being on the products, so we're popping up in shape. I sort of get close to her. They they're back on the product. They're breaking the Ultimate program. And she's like took the conversation, knowing about the opportunity, and now that there's interest in building back to their second source of income. So it just goes to show, like, I think when we talk about converting customers into business, just keep talking to them, and then you don't know when they will need that opportunity. So hopefully I'm update.
Yeah, awesome.
I used the watch story.
Yeah, use the watch story.
Because I actually,
Did George share the watch story last week? As in,
No.
okay, when? Saturday?
Cool.
Sunday?
I'll
Oh, on our call. Okay.
I wear Mickey Mouse watches. People think, oh, like, one of the reasons I wear Mickey Mouse watches and always looks on holidays, it's prospecting. And so it hasn't happened for a while, but the lady said, oh, that's a really nice watch. Yeah, it's my business. Oh, what, you work for Disney? No. I'm in the sort of business where I can wear these sort of silly watches because I make so much money and have so much fun. And we go to Disneyland at least a couple of times a year because that's where the head office of our company, which is Herbalife, as you do. It's just that so that's it. It's my business. Well, you're in the watch business. No. Because
But this is funny. He shared that on Sunday night.
Yeah.
Yes. And yesterday, being Wednesday, he actually had that exact conversation with someone when he went to a cafe. He actually haven't been out, to be honest. Went to the cafe, and it was the first thing she said. Oh, I like your Mickey Mouse watch. And then that whole thing that he shared on Sunday, he actually did that. In real life, so he wasn't making it up. He actually does it. That wasn't just a made-up story. He actually does share that. So, okay, that's great for everyone's wins. Now, I just want to talk about the wins. So, Karen, Alina, Melly, George, who else shared their win? David, Polly, do you have a win?
Yeah, I got a win. So last Thursday was my birthday, and
Happy birthday. Wow.
Thanks. Intentionally, a few months ago, I started selling my junk on Facebook groups, and along with the cash that flow with the junk, there was a lady that came last Thursday here to get this 5 minutes chef junk, and eventually she ended up to sign up and take the ultimate program.
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
So everything works as long as you're talking to people. And the wins, like your subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between a big win and a small win. So just the fact that Melly was like, yes, someone's coming, is that keeps you excited enough to go and do it again. So now Melly's like, oh, yeah, I want to do another call because I might have another win. And that's why we keep doing what we're doing and coming to the meetings to get the inspiration to keep doing what we're doing, because those wins are the things that keep us going. So just, it's powerful in whether anyone does anything, but just that little win of someone said yes, or I invited someone, that's what keeps you active in what we call the escape mode Herbalife. And I'm not sure what George is doing there. So let's talk a little about the meetings. George, want to talk about the system? Do you want to talk about the system? If that's not, I can do that while you talk system. Okay. Yeah.
Why is it that technology gets complicated? This is so interesting.
Yeah.
Guys, you may have I'll be pretty direct here. Who makes a, you've seen this example, who makes a really good hamburger? Here. Okay? Polly, tell us about your hamburger.
Okay, so slice of bread.
Speak up really loud.
Slice of bread or bun of bread. Cut it in half or just open the 2 slices of bread. So you can put an avocado and you can put salami and make a homemade dip from celery leaves and 2 boiled eggs and pretty much, spinach, yeah.
Okay. So it's not a hamburger, it's a salami burger.
Whatever. It's like a full meal.
Okay, salami burger. Okay. Who makes a really good hamburger?
Oh, you put
Okay,
it
Karen, just tell us about
in.
it.
So in the meat, I mix spices, egg, soy sauce, cheese sauce, barbecue sauce, all different, but the meat tastes absolutely fine. Cook that, have a bun, lettuce, cheese, sauce if you want it, cooked onion, bacon, egg,
Do you toast the bun or toast the bun?
Absolutely. Lightly toasted.
Lightly toasted, yeah. White bread or wholemeal?
Both.
Both, okay. So does that sound like an incredible burger?
Yes.
An unbelievable burger. Okay, who wants to describe a McDonald's burger, cheeseburger?
A high sugar bun with a meat patty and cheese.
Who would rather have Karen's burger as against a cheeseburger?
Yes.
We all would, right? But the difference is McDonald's is rich and Karen isn't yet rich.
Through her hamburger.
To her hamburger, right? And the difference is that there is a system. And I'm going to say it's called McDonald's Systems Australia. And the system is such that anybody, and you know this when you go to McDonald's, anybody can actually do okay in McDonald's. The same with Coles. It's a system that puts the individual in a situation where the system becomes better than the limitations of individuals. So very much, I can tell you right now, unless you have a system to which you are committed, your progress with an Herbalife at best will be happen chance, will be a maybe, will be a, toss a coin up in the air, and hopefully you might recruit somebody who gets into a system. Okay, good job.
Yeah. I can talk about the system in maybe perspective. So we all have, well, not all of us, but we've all had a job in some form, yes? Or school or university. So there was a system at university to get your degree, and there was a system through school to graduate. There's a system of maybe Monday to Friday to get paid in your job at the end of the week, yes? Yeah. So perspective. If you're all willing to go to a job or school, let's start with school, go to school from Monday to Friday, 9 till 3, every single day to graduate. And by the way, you don't get paid to go to school. You're doing it for your own self-education. Yes, you're committed to that. Then maybe you go to uni and you don't get paid to go to uni, but you have to turn up to the system of lectures and tutorials in order after 4 years, 3 to 4 years, to get a piece of paper that you paid $40,000, $50,000 for. Then if you go to a job, then you have to go from, yeah, that's funny, well, mine's a lot more than that, Bill, after 3, so don't worry, don't laugh. Mine's like 80. Then you go, you have a job and you turn up, you start at 9, but most jobs you actually have to turn up at 8 or 8:30 in order to start your job at 9, to go all the way through to 5 o'clock. Most people don't really clock off at 5 o'clock, they clock at 5:30, 6 o'clock. To get paid, most people only average about $1,000 a week to do 40 hours. So, perspective. Before tax, perspective. So I saw this as, well, if I was going to become financially independent so I could live a life of freedom, turning up on a Tuesday between 6 and 8, a Thursday between 6 and 8, 9 and a Saturday morning between 9 and 12 wasn't going to, it probably was less commitment, but more output, and I could commit to that system to have a much better outcome at the end. So it's just a perspective of take this seriously, because the outcome will be a lot more serious if you put in serious to this system, and it's a lot less, it's way more fun to come here than to a 9 to 5, going to university and going to school, but your outcome is so much more gratifying, fulfilling, and it sets you up for a life of freedom, whereas those other things are sort of, what do you actually really get out of it? So that's how I saw the system when I came in. I just wanted to, I think we sometimes forget that. I think we forget that that's the system, and why do we come to the system, rather than, on a Thursday night, oh, you know, I don't know, my favourite television show's on, or my boyfriend, you know, had a date night and we have to go to the movies. Okay, but what do you actually get out of that particular date night and the movies? I don't know.
Let's define the system, guys. So we know that. You ready for this? I'm going to go rapid fire. You ready? You're going to need to write notes here. Our system is made up of several components. When somebody starts, and you're going to have to keep up. When somebody starts, they get registered. They get an ultimate program, 20 goals, list building questionnaire, an order of anywhere from 500 to 3,999, and we do a business launch. So register, experience, 20 goals, list building questionnaire, an order anywhere from 500 to 3,999 volume, and a business launch. The goal of the business launch is to find people who will get registered, experience, preferably an ultimate program, get their 20 goals, list building questionnaire, place an order anywhere from 500 to 3,999 to do a business launch. In the business launch, our goal is to find people who are going to get registered. You understand where I'm coming from? So there's a 6-step process. That's part of our system. The second part of it, by the way, that system is damn close to foolproof. You know, quite honestly, it's the reason that I have business all over the world with people better than me. The second part is we have opted to have a community-based business. We have opted to have a community-based business, not a totally online business. Do we use online? Yes. Not a internet-driven business. Do we do internet? Yeah, we do all of those things. But what we have chosen, but there are many ways to get to the top of Mount Everest, we have chosen a way based on experience, a lot of experience that works. It's a very simple system. It's a Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday system. Then we have a monthly system. We have a fast track at the start of the month, although this month is going to be the last Saturday of the month because of December, and then we have an STS in the middle of the month. The goal of the fast track is what? To get started. The goal of the STS is to upgrade. Our priorities, we have 4 priorities. First priority, talk to prospects about the products of the business. Second priority, work with our new distributors to help them talk to their prospects about the products of the business. Third priority, I'll go through this 1,000 times, by the way. You probably work, it's apps, when it's impregnated into your brain, and you've heard me say this many, many times, when it's impregnated into your brain, it just becomes automatic. So my highest priority, I've got to talk to prospects about the products of the business. My second, so I wake up in the morning thinking that's what I've got to do. My second priority is I've got to work with my new distributors, help them talk to their prospects about the products of the business. My third priority is to talk to my supervisors to get them to do the same. My fourth priority is to work with my supervisors to develop supervisors. Clear so far? Within a 12-month period, it's very interesting, within a 12-month period, we have a spectacular, this coming year, we have a spectacular at the start of the month, start of the year. That's where we put a lot of, as many people into the spectacular as we can, so they get the big picture. Then in May, we have an event. Then in June and July, we have extravaganza. Then in October, we have another big event, high qualifications, World Team School. Then we have a tour, a couple of little events, and then we have a President's Team tour in December. And so the whole goal, we have a daily focus, we have a weekly focus, we have a monthly focus, and we have a 12-month focus. If you literally focus on 2 or 3 meetings a week, 2 meetings a month, a couple of major events a year, you'll end up getting little press. If you find yourself talking to 5 people a day, even if you bump into them and you're not very good at it, you'll get to get 10. If you talk to 7, you'll get the millionaire team. If you talk to 10, you'll get the president's team. Do any of you like jigsaw puzzles? Right? You know what? You know those times, I don't know, especially if you've got kids, you've got a jigsaw puzzle and you're almost complete, but there's one piece missing and you can't find that last piece. And you look down at the cushions on the couch, you go to the bin to see if you've vacuumed it up, or you look at it and you can't find. What do you feel like when you can't find that last piece of the puzzle? The whole bloody puzzle could be the best, most interesting puzzle, but you're focused on the last piece, aren't you? Well, I'm telling you, Well, I don't want to do all of that, George. I can't do this with what you tell me. Listen, people confuse what they want and what they want to do. Most people who do what they want to do never achieve what they want. I want to be a surfer. I love it. But it was never going to get me what I want because I wanted to be free. If you really are serious, you're going to have to ask yourself, what am I doing today which is going to get me what I want so I can spend the rest of my life doing what I want to do? If you do what you want to do, you're never going to get what you want, straight. If you do what you want to do, you are never going to get what you want. I'm telling you, because most of the stuff that you got to do to get what you want is the stuff you want to do. You understand? Most of the stuff you got to do, but I've got to do this on Tuesday night. Well, screw it, mate. You ain't going to get what you want. Just extend the time 10 years. You'll eventually get it, but you'll be old. See, and this is not like you've got to do this for life. I nailed it in 2 years and 2 months, and I spent the last 28 years cruising, pretty much doing what I want. Because for 2 years, I did what I didn't want to do. I didn't want to go Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. I don't want to go to all these bloody meetings. I don't want to take all these. I didn't want to. Most of the things that I had to do to succeed, I didn't want to do. But I did them because I wanted that. So I'm telling you now, if you do what you want to do, you're not going to get what you want. You just won't. Life tells me that. So do what you don't want to do that you have to do to get what you want so you can spend the rest of your life doing what you want to do. Isn't it tricky, aren't it?
So what he's saying in layman's terms is like if you want to get the degree, the piece of paper in your degree, you have to actually go to the lectures and the tutorials for a period of time to actually get the degree. So you may not want to go to those lectures and tutorials, but in order to do, like, you have to do that to get what you want, which is the piece of paper. Then you can go and choose the job, what a career progression after that, or nothing. Because
I like my example better though.
but yeah, I'm giving a practical example. Okay. Oh yeah, like well, I can see the surfing thing. Okay, all right. So do I have to come up with a new example? Yeah, I'll give you later. So we run meetings. Why do we run meetings though? Why do you think George and I focus on meetings as a method of operation? Education, community.
So we can work with everyone at the same time.
Work with everyone at the same time.
You don't have to know everything.
Don't have to know everything. Leverage time. Give the opportunity to bring new people in. Impact more people. Yeah.
Becomes a habit.
So just know that community doesn't have to be just a meeting. Community can be a fit club, but as long as a fit club is sharing business and product testimonials with an invitation into an event where people can hear from more business and product testimonials. So meetings for us is so that we can have people share their stories like Natalina got up and shared today. Now, Ruby had her guest here, her client here. I reckon Ali, who is a larger lady, struggling. Whatever you said tonight, Natalina, we were talking to her about it, she would have been going, ding, 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 ding. We may have said it to Ali, but now that she's heard it from Natalina, I reckon she would have walked out here feeling so much better about her journey than what Ruby and I could share, because she has a lot more weight to lose than either Ruby and I, and she probably would resonate with you. So just know that not everyone is going to resonate with you, but the community, we all work together so that the people that you bring in can resonate and move forward in their own accord. So we all want independent businesses, yes? I want an independent business. So I use the meetings to time leverage so that I don't have to be the complete issue on every single person that I'm talking to. If I develop a meeting structure, I can invite them to the meetings. Like, so Amin is in Brisbane Lifestyle Centre tonight, and there's people in my group going to see Amin at the Brisbane Lifestyle Centre meeting. He'll be there in Townsville on the weekend. People in my group will be going to see him. So I don't have to actually talk to them all individually. They're there at a meeting where they're going to hear other people share their product and business testimonials. This is how you can leverage time, but also leverage location and build business into many other locations if you've got a community or a meeting structure in place. So does it have to be a Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday? No. By the way, it doesn't have to be a Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. That's what we choose, a Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. It could be a Monday, Wednesday, Sunday. Who knows? It could be, as long as it's 2 meetings a week or 2 or 3 meetings a week, two meetings a month, 2 meetings a year, or 2 events a year. Does that make sense? So work out what's best for you. Here, we know. This is like, we know what happens here. So it's sort of like I walk into Melbourne Lifestyle Centre and I know what's going to be delivered. You can go and duplicate that and set up your own thing, but just know that meetings need you as much as the meeting needs you as much as you need the meeting. So that's why we encourage to support the meeting. So what happens if, I invited somebody here and Natalina decided not to come to the meeting tonight? Like the meeting needed Natalina tonight. If she wasn't here, we may not have had the same impact. But then Natalina will come and maybe I'm not here or the meeting's not here. Natalina's like, I want to invite to a Thursday night. What am I going to do? Half the people didn't turn up. So Natalina also needs the meeting as much as we need Natalina in the community. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That can be happening at a fit club. It could be happening at like Jenny's church and prayer meetings. It could be happening at whatever you're doing as a community. Commit to that for a period of time and invite people into it so that you can grow the community of business and product testimonials.
Is it easy to get people to meetings? No, it's not. In the olden days, and I hear this a lot today, especially from my peers, oh, George, meetings are old hat. And I hear that, but it's hard to get people to meetings because they've got a lot on. Okay, you know that? I don't buy that. I remember years ago, we used to do meetings. Our meetings used to be on a Monday night. And some of you may remember this, but what happened on Monday night was, Nano, what's his name? Robin Williams. Morgan Mindy came on. And our meeting numbers dropped dramatically because of Morgan. This business guy, I was tending to try and recruit business guys, and they would stay home and they would watch Morgan Mindy. I believe it, really. So we changed it to Tuesday night. That's how we got to Tuesday night meetings. It's the sort of the structure. So it's not easy to get people to meetings. Is it any more difficult today than it was years ago? We have a lot of distractions. I can tell you now, it is not their distraction which causes it to be difficult. It's our mindset. 100% our mindset. And it comes back to how to invite. I don't invite people to meetings. For example, have any of you had or known somebody that has a party and you're going to go to the party? It's a big party and there's going to be 100 people there. But come Saturday morning, I don't know the party. So I'm not going to have a party. And you don't go. And you don't even phone, do you? Why don't you go? Why don't you go? It's going to be a big party. Why don't you go? So you're not going to be missed. It's all right. He's got plenty of people there. No, I won't be missed. Got that feeling? You got the message? Yet when you're invited to a dinner party, and you know there's going to be 6 people, even if you don't like them, if you've said yes, and on Saturday morning you feel like crap, you go, don't you? Why do you go?
Because you'll be missed.
Because you'll be missed. I mean, there's 6 settings there, and there's an empty seat. Where's Bruce? Where's Molly? No. And the reason you turn up it's easier to turn up than lie or rationalise why you didn't. You know, the dog got sick, the cat fell off the perch, whatever the cats do. It was easier to turn up. So, little key here, do not invite people to meetings because they won't turn up. Hang on, but we're talking about meetings. This is how you invite. This is sort of how you invite. John, you know, with circling, however it goes. John, what are you doing? Firstly, what are you doing Tuesday? What are you doing around, say, 6 on Tuesday? What might, you know, this is a friend or how you do it, God, add friend, whatever. I'd like to sit down and have a bit of a chat with you at our centre or at the club or at my office. Remember, this is your office. And let you know what I'm doing, however you want to invite it. But I'm going to sit down with you and have a chat with you and the person having a chat. Meeting. We have a meeting, you and the person. Critical here, by the way. And John, look, if we like the sound of each other, if we're resonating, I'll introduce you to some of the guys that I'm working with. They'll be, you know, we've got a bit of a strategy thing afterwards. I'll introduce you to some of the blokes that I'm working with. Okay, now you could meet them in the cafe that's opening up across the road here, and have a chat with them one-on-one, and then you invite them to the meeting. Personally, I find it just as easy to sit and have a chat with them one-on-one, and then they're expecting you to have a one-on-one meeting. So it's difficult for them because they know you're sitting there waiting. Let me clue you in what I used to do. We used to have an office down the road, yes, okay? We used to have an office down the road here, and I would say, now I didn't have a motor car, so I would say, look, John, let me tell you what I'll do, because the office is a bit difficult to find, so I'll meet you on the corner of High Street and Glenferrie Road. You know, opposite Giorgio's there. I'll be on that corner. I'll wait for you there, and then we'll just walk across, and because the office is a bit difficult to find. It wasn't difficult to find. So this is what they're visualising. Come 5 o'clock, they don't really want to see me, but it's raining and it's cold and it's the middle of winter, and they visualise me here waiting. It's easier to turn up than it is to explain to me why they didn't turn up. Am I making sense? So you make an appointment with as a one-on-one meeting. Sit down, chat, you and that other person. And if we like the sound of each other, if we like the sound of it, give yourself a bit of time, because we've got a bit of a briefing, a bit of a strategy meeting. I'll introduce you to some of the guys that I'm working with. So you don't want to sit down here at 6 o'clock and then go at 6:30. Does that make sense? So if we like the sound of each other, I'll introduce you to some of the guys, and you know, so we'll let you know more about what we're doing. Okay, got any questions? That's sort of the concept. It's only concept, by the way, but invite them to one-on-one. If we like the sound of each other, we'll allow you to sit and meet some of the other guys that I'm working with, some of my associates. Does that help you in saying that? Please.
I'll share my invitation.
Yes.
Yep. So I do the same thing. So I'm here between 6 and 7. So I invite. So when I'm inviting at the end, which I did share last week, I then say, can you please get your diary out and let me know what your schedule's like. And before they tell me what their schedule's like, I say, oh, actually, I've got my diary. The only opportunity or the only window I've really got this week is on Tuesday at 6 or whatever it is, Thursday lunchtime, or Thursday evening. I don't give them 3 options. I don't give them the Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. I give them 1 or 2 options. And can that work in with your schedule? So you've got to take a little bit of authority as well, because remember, you're qualifying them. They needed to prove to you that they should be part of the project. Does that make sense?
Most people choose the second time, by the way. 90% will choose whatever second time you give them, they'll choose the second time.
So if it is on a Wednesday, invite really for the Thursday and the Saturday before the opportunity meeting. That's what I do.
Yep.
So then, depending on, once you do enough of these calls, I'm used to it now. Like I know tone. For people who are serious, I bring them earlier at like 6:15 because I know that I'm probably going to have a better, solid conversation with them. Whereas the people who are a bit flippy on the phone, 6:45. because they're going to come. I'm probably not going to spend much time with them. Like, great, yeah, we can sit down, listen. But the people I want to flesh out more of a conversation with and actually explore a good, solid prospect, I give more time to. Yeah. So I just know that's just psychologically. And then when they come here, I look like I'm busy because I'm running the show. Whether I'm running the show or not. Yeah. I'm actually not happy. I'm actually totally pretending, by the way, when I'm here running around looking busy. Not for you guys, for my prospects. For my prospect, I am. I'm like, hold on, I'm going to go to the bar. I know the bar's fully looked after. I know the music's looked after. But I'm just going to, because I need them to see me as a leader within the community, like within the centre. So they have more of a, I need to be listening to her. Yeah, Karen, you interrupted.
Speak up, mate.
On Tuesday. So I think also is to remember that if that's happening, it's not our job to be asking questions. It's more the point to edify the person who's going to be looking at the
So I'll get to that part in a second. Yes. No,
how do you use that authority but still be present? Like in terms of like when you're using that authority and being direct.
I am getting better because I'm not best at it, because sometimes I am a little bit too assertive. As an example of today, which I will share today, just firm, but nice. Laugh here and there. George doesn't like me laughing. He says stop laughing, but on the phone to people. But I think that gives a little bit of flexibility in the tone, but still affirmative in. So it's I guess how I say it. Please get out your diary. Let me know your schedule. Hold on. No, I've only got this window of opportunity for you to come and see me. So it's sort of the languaging as well in the delivery as well. I could have been nice to them, but when it gets to that, I'm firm. So choosing when you're firm and when you're flexible in your languaging, I think.
And do it a lot of times.
And
Screw up a lot.
Practice.
Clue you in. Even, I'm real good at this. I probably have more people not turn up than any. And I always have had a lot of people not turn up. But it doesn't matter. You only worry about the ones that do turn up. And the ones that don't turn up, or don't qualify. This is what I say, especially if they're a friend. If they're a referral or somebody that you know that don't turn up. If somebody doesn't turn up, what do you think?
Not interested. I'm wasting your time.
Sorry?
Sometimes you're wasting your time.
Time? They're a friend of yours.
Lack of respect.
Respect.
Serious?
See, this is all wrong. If somebody didn't turn up, something terrible must have happened to them. They must have had an accident. Their dog has really died. They had a crash. Come in, by the way, that has happened. See, it's about, it's your intent.
Yeah.
So if they don't turn up, you've got to be worried, man. You're a friend. There's something, are you okay? Why? Oh, if that's had got to be your reaction. If they didn't turn up, man, it's what they didn't respect. No, there's something terrible happened. They must have run off the road. That should be how you respond. If they don't turn up, if you're serious in your tone. Because that's actually what I think. They're about to see the most unbelievable thing in the entire world. No respect, I mean, that's all your hang-ups. Something terrible's happened. That's really how you should respond. And by the way, I know people and haven't turned up, and just for fun, Jack, look, I'm really sorry that I was late. I got back to the office late, and they said that you were standing there waiting for me at the reception. I'm sorry I was late, mate. And look, we'll see if we can make another time. And about 90% of them don't tell the truth. So they weren't there, but they won't admit it. But you know, they know they've done a goosey thing, so don't lay it on them that they've done a goosey thing and be an unreliable bum. Just, I can't tell you how many people say, oh, look, I was waiting, mate, I couldn't wait. I was busy, I had to go, I had a call from my wife. Oh. Sorry.
Or you can, I'm a bit, I will then have a joke, depending on the person. like last week, I said to someone, I'm like, oh, you're going to stand me up again this week? You didn't come. What happened? And I walk in, that's the first thing I say, oh my goodness, what happened? Where were you? Like, oh, you're going to stand me up again this week?
Yeah.
So depending on the person you're talking to, if they're friends of yours, have a bit of that. If they're not so much, and then you can do it other ways. So it's just whatever feels your personality.
It's a question. Again, this is helpful for stuff. This is just stuff, guys.
It's just stuff. But
It's
stuff
all-
that we actually do that actually gets people to meetings and how we work with them.
People ask me, should you confirm the appointment? Anybody thought of that? Should you confirm the appointment? If you have to confirm the appointment, it means that you're used to people not turning up. So they will tend to act the way you think they should act. So how do you confirm without confirming? Jack, listen, you've got your diary in front of you. Now we said 6 o'clock. I'm in a meeting beforehand. Can we just make that 10 past 6? So you've confirmed it without confirming. Make sense?
Yeah.
I send a message the day before saying, really looking forward to seeing you. Make sure you come upstairs and ask for me at the registration at 6:15 like we planned.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. Yes.
I like the one you told me, I was 2 weeks here and there, that if you know information about it, especially if it's a friend, you bring them up there before going to say they're based on the days in the community. Hey, mate, just quickly, where were you from in India again? Ah, that's right. I've got a friend of mine who's actually going to be there tomorrow, and he's got a fantastic blah 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 business going on. Can't wait to meet you.
Another way of doing it.
Make sure they know.
And when I do the sorry, go.
If they haven't got, a lot of people like to SMS. If they haven't got a diary, you can then SMS me the address or
Never.
I
never do.
I don't like doing that. George told me not to do that.
Never
So
do that.
I still do from time to time on exception.
What are you, lazy? Get a pen and paper and write it
Yeah.
down. What do you think? I'm desperate that said you're the what?
Yeah.
Could you text me the address?
That's
no,
part of authority.
I don't do that. What are you talking about? Just no. Don't explain.
So
No.
someone did that with me this week, and they said, "Oh, can you SMS it to me?" Knowing the way I delivered my message, that they were asking for a bit much, and I said, "Yeah, that's not something I would normally do. So I don't actually SMS people the address, and they normally write it down. But because you are driving right now and going to an appointment, I will make an exception for you just on this one occasion."
So see, if somebody, as I ask, are you free to talk on the phone? I'm driving. Fine. When will you not be driving? I'll call you back. I don't want to talk to the guy when they're driving. They can never listen to me. What happens if he had an accident? Because he was so excited about what So I'm not going to talk to him while he's driving. This is the most important conversation he's ever had in his entire life. Pull over.
They were pulled over.
It was a good prospect. Sorry.
We've only got another 15 minutes. So
He just D class for D for dead.
So the invitation, let's finish up. Let's finish very quickly on the invitation. The whole inviting them not to the meeting, inviting them to meet you first. Yes, invite them to meet you first. We will sit and have a chat, and I will introduce you to some other key people that we're working with. I do say, by the way, you are coming at a time before one of our information sessions, so I may decide to put you in that to learn more, because I may not. I might get them like, no, you're right. I think they just don't qualify. Like the guy we had today. So I learned from today, because George didn't want to sit and do a prospect meeting with me, but I asked him to. So when he came really early. I had another appointment, so I just set it up. So just sit, have a tea, I will be back. But then by the time we sat and had a chat, I already knew straight away after about 5 minutes of the conversation on what he was saying, he was looking for a job. Like he actually wanted to get paid a wage. And George kept going. And then at the end of it, George was like, would you have finished that conversation earlier? I said, yeah, I didn't have the patience. I would have kicked him out ages ago. But I learned something very valuable from George, which he still did the whole thing, but left it authority with amicable circumstances where we got the person's information as his email to send him more information so that we can keep in touch when the time is right for him. Whereas I would have been like, thanks, you're looking for a job, no problems, we don't have that, see you, bye.
Yeah.
But
Little statement. I said, this is not for you. You are not ready for this. And I said, you are not, I swore, I said, you are not ticked off enough with having a job to be ready for this. I said, you're probably going to have to apply for another couple of jobs, work for another couple of bosses before you're ready to do this. So, you know, and by the way, that now that you've spoken, that could happen at the very next interview. You understand? See, my attitude is that I don't let anybody go. Because there's a guy, his circumstances will change. Now he'll go and apply for a few more jobs. He'll get, you know, he thinks that's where security lies. And it'll eventually get to a point where he says, I hate this. Yeah. And I want to make sure that he doesn't forget us. You know, we say, don't forget a prospect, but don't let a prospect forget you. If there's a mistake that I've made in my Herbalife career, I'll tell you what, and it's a big mistake. I haven't kept an accurate database on everybody I've spoken to. And I will change that as of this point. Everybody you speak to, collect their information and put them onto some sort of mailing or keep information going to them. Because it just might be that one. By the way, I did find out that his son, his son, 22, was qualified. If rabbits lead you to bears, he may not be ready, but what's his son doing, or his daughter doing, or his brother doing? Just everybody can lead you to many people, no matter what. Just, do you understand? So people say, I haven't got enough prospects. You can solve that in 2 minutes, guys. Everybody has access to so many people. Look, John, you're probably not interested in this. You're already very healthy and making plenty of money. However, I'm looking for a couple of people who seriously want to make $15,000 a month and who really want to get healthy. Do you know anybody who might be interested? You never know.
So what I started saying to them is, do you know like actually you want this money down? Do you know anyone that needs weight? And I contact details. So one of them has lost weight, and now he's like, oh, she lost weight. So it's just somebody else, and now she's like, up. So I just keep asking the question, saying, would you know anyone else?
Never let them forget you. Don't worry about forgetting the other. Don't be the unusual person who cares more. Just take weight loss. Everybody is overweight has tried so many damn diets, and they're not confident that, you know, one more diet. Be the person that doesn't give up on them. In business, be the person that doesn't give up on them. Talk to a part of a person that nobody else ever talks to. The part of the person that wants to be, that wants to become, that wants to have, that wants to grow, that wants to develop. Nobody talks to that person. No, especially now, nobody talks to that person. The person that's talk to the person's heart and the soul. I'm not, by the way, this is absolute business to me. But talk to a part of the person that nobody else ever talks to. Now they're screaming out to be understood. They're screaming, all of us are screaming out to be cared for, to be loved, to be understood, to be listened to. Be that person. Is it easy? No.
We're sort of getting sidetracked a bit, but saying that though, like I got 3 prospects currently that are my circle of influence, so I'm not letting them forget who I am. So one of them is a personal trainer, which I do things where I make sure that he still knows outside of my personal training times that I'm existing. Yeah, so I will send a message like his son's birthday. So I was like, oh, have a fantastic time getting dressed up as Spider-Man for your son's birthday. One of the other girls at the gym as well, she told me her contract's ending, and then I ran her through the gym. I was supposed to catch up. She's like, going for a job interview. So I left and then sent her a message, good luck with your job interview. So when you're seeing someone, that's okay. But when you leave, get them to still remember that you are around. The guy, the builder from next door who's doing the renovations, Pete. So I went in, had a chat to him just about stuff, but spoke to him like you said, where like, yeah, it's all great, but how old are you? Oh, you're 30. Do you actually want to be on the tools for the rest of your life? Probably people don't ask him that question. He's like, oh, no, I don't actually. He's like, oh, then what do you guys do there? And we hadn't talked Herbalife or anything. He brought it up to me and said, oh, isn't it Herbalife? I said, oh, we're in Healthy Up to Lifestyle business. I said, no, actually, we help people actually build a royalty income so that they can get out of what they're doing and actually still earn an income so they can have a great life. And funny that you say that you're a builder. One of our guys was a carpenter before, and he's like, oh, really? So, yeah, and he's like, oh, I'm interested in doing that, like learning more about that. So I said, oh, I haven't got my phone. Can you send me a message now? And so he sent me a message, and I responded back saying, great to talk to you. I really look forward to our next conversation. I wasn't with him. I was, hours later, and he wrote back saying, yeah, so am I actually. I'm looking forward to when we chat next. So little things like that, you have to go over and beyond just the time that you're talking to them to make sure that they are still remembering who you are. And then you might have to do that for a long time before they're like, oh, yeah, I'm ready. But if you're doing 50 of those, imagine you've got 50 of those types of conversations going a week. Someone is going to be like starting left, right, and centre. So you're just going to do more of just talking to people and finding out information that you can then follow up on. Morgan did this thing. She recruited this lady in Brisbane from a bus stop. So she met this lady walk and talk doing surveys, Bill. Remember Bill and I were talking about surveys last week. She was out doing surveys, came across this larger lady at the bus stop, which is actually a young girl studying. And she said, this is what we're doing, blah, 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 I'll get your details, had a conversation, left the bus stop, and then I think the next day sent her a message saying, oh, how did your maths exam go for university? Did you pass? Did you do well? And that girl went on to lose, I think, 17, 18 kilos, was registered in the business. And she said, you know what got me? It's that Morgan sent me a message and took an interest in our conversation to follow up to see how my exam went, beyond just that first conversation.
Now, you need a system. I'll give you the birdcage story. Guys, many years ago, a guy called Boss Kevin, a friend of his, $5,000, that if this friend bought an ornate birdcage, put it in the foyer of his home, and by and by, we'd have to buy a bird and put it in a birdcage. Got the picture? So, Bill is my friend, and I'm going to bet Bill $5,000. Bill, $5,000 that you're going to put a birdcage in your foyer, and by and by, $5,000, I'm going to win the bet. You're going to give me $5,000. Now, Bill would take the bet, wouldn't he? Now, Bill was a diplomat, lived in a mansion, but worked in the mansion, and he would see a stream of people all day long into his home, which was his office. So they'd come, excuse me, and Helen would be the receptionist. They'd come down, hello, nice to meet you. I've got an appointment with Mr. Bill, and Bill would sit down. Sorry, I'm the guy coming in. David's the guy that comes in to see Bill. David sits down, talks to the receptionist, waiting for Bill. As he sits there, he looks up and sees this beautiful birdcage. It's empty. Sits up, lovely birdcage, walks in, talks to Bill. Bill, yes, nice to meet you. That's a beautiful birdcage out there. What happened to the bird? And so Bill explains, well, we've got this bet with this guy called Boss Kevin, empty birdcage, I'm going to win $5,000. So that's at 9 o'clock. 9:30, Bruce comes in, same situation, beautiful birdcage there. Goes as far as again. Then Dennis comes in, sits down, waits, sees the empty birdcage. Look at the bird. Walks in, talks to Bill. Can you imagine by Friday when Bill's had to explain to 60 people the empty birdcage? come and sit down to talk about birdcage, I'm going to shoot you. By and by, it was easier to put a bird in the birdcage than constantly explain the empty birdcage. Herein lies the secret to making what the uncle was talking about work. You've got to set up the empty birdcage. It's called a prospect box. And every time you think of somebody, write their damn name on the card. No matter what. Write it on a street. And I'm saying don't put it on your phone, because every time you go to your phone, you get distracted. Don't put it in somewhere it's actually on a card. Put it in the box.
Can you describe them on the card?
Yeah.
Of course. Fat guy with the red hair. Skinny lady. You don't always have to know the name.
Yeah.
Yeah, because what will happen is by and by, because that's what you're focused on. How often are we in a situation, guys, where you're thinking about somebody and that somebody calls you? How often that happens to me? All of the time. Well, you bump into them the next day. That's not accident. That's not an accident, guys. We draw, we magnetize conditions we seek. If you start to write their names down, people, I can do this. Why you never have a shortage of prospects. If you do this, you'll never have a shortage of prospects. You'll always have more people to talk to than you'll ever have time to talk to them. Because you start to become like a private investigator. You accumulate data. Is that clear, guys? Any questions on it?
Yeah, just that quote that Paul J. Meyer gave. I was one of those people. I don't have any friends. Well, to get a friend is to be a friend. So that's the whole go out and actually start to talk to someone with an intention to become their friend by being their friend. Asking them questions about themselves, that they talk about themselves, to find information that then you can support or give positive input to. If that makes sense.
Most of us know a lot more people than we think we know. If you get into the habit of writing down, it starts to become, it's like when you ask somebody to write down their 20 goals. And somebody has got dreams, yet they can't write 20 goals down. It's freaky, isn't it, really? It's just they've never done it. But once they start, you can sit down with somebody who started a few, and they can just write and write and write. Like I can sit down and write down my goals now and not stop. Just keep going. It's not when you ask somebody who you know, I can't think of it. When somebody asks you, you know, you're borrowing money, whatever, you ask for 3 references, you can't think of the names of 3 people. Like you're 60 and you can't think of the names of 3 people or their addresses. It's the same thing because you haven't done it. Once you start to have it, it'll flood to you. It comes to you like in bunches, like bananas, just lots and lots and lots.
I'm just going to finish off. We're just going to finish off with how to actually use the meeting. So when you invite people here, you've worked really hard to get them here. So as a community, this is like an unspoken contract, but I'm speaking it, so it's a contract. No, I'm kidding. Now you have to look like it. It's an unspoken contract, but I'm speaking it, so this is the contract. So when somebody comes, you've worked really hard to invite them to the meeting, okay? We're all working together. So you have to have the mindset of, if Ray has invited Noel, and I know that Ray's invited Noel, he's worked really hard to get Noel to the meeting. It is not my job to now run the meeting before the meeting to tell Noel everything about the business or the products. Okay? My job is to work with Ray to help his prospect feel welcomed, feel like he's got a friendly environment, it's positive, it's got good energy, I'm taking an interest of, Noel, tell me about your tattoos, how did that come about, like what do you do for work? It's to actually have a nice friendly relationship with Noel so he feels comfortable that Ray has invited him to a really great environment. Oh, how do you know Ray? Oh my goodness, he's such a great guy. Have you know, he's been part of the community, he's awesome. The fact that you guys know each other, you're in great hands. It's edifying Ray. Because I actually don't know what Ray spoke to Noel about before the meeting. I actually don't know why he's invited here. So if I go and then start to talk about the products or the business, I might be having a completely disconnected conversation with Noel before the meeting, and he's like, what the hell is this? What am I being invited to? What's Ray got me here? He told me to come and actually talk about something else, and here I am talking about something completely different. So this is how we all work as a community for the meeting. That makes sense. Does everyone follow that? Let the meeting do the work.
Yeah.
Prior to the meeting is just a great environment that this prospect feels really fantastic for being invited down to, because it's got great energy, got great people. I feel really welcome, really, feel good about being here. He then listens to the meeting, he gets the information, and Ray goes through the process of his follow-up after the meeting. Does that make sense?
A couple of things that I'm pretty serious about. You spend a lot of time getting a prospect here, right? I've seen it. I'll tell you some things that I said. Firstly, you turn up late. It was what I used to say. You turn up late, that prospect's mine. I'm taking them. I'm mine. And I've done that. I've signed them up. Oh, thanks, under me. What do you mean? Yeah, I'm telling you. No, I never have. But I'll tell you that I would. Because my meeting starts at 6 o'clock. It doesn't start at 7 o'clock. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
It doesn't start at 7 o'clock. My meeting starts at 6. That's when the people see the shakes happening and they see the thing evolve and develop, right? And I've had people walk in here and then they talk to each other. There's 6 prospects sitting with their thumbs in their nose and you guys are talking to each other. We've already got each other's money. Those people there have got your money temporarily placed in their pocket. You want to understand me? Whoa, welcome! Welcome to the clan, boy! Don't be doing that. It's nice to see you. We invited you. Great welcome. Have tea. Do you understand? The feeling should be if you've just invited somebody to a dinner party. You're going to offer them a drink. You can offer them, even if you like the invite tour, maybe a little late. Do you understand the feeling there? And really, I can tell you now, there are times when your prospects turn up and you'll be begging for somebody to talk to them. I'll tell you now, do not always get me or Bianca. Some of you have experienced this. You've come to me and said, would you mind talking to Fred? I'll say, yeah, I don't want to talk to Fred.
Yes.
What am I talking to Fred for? So use each
I'll share
other.
that part.
Interact with each other.
So George is saying, which my next part is how to use the meeting, is when you invite a prospect, have already set up. Now Ray's probably not in a position, if Liz is here, he can, you'll do this with Liz, but if Liz is not here, maybe you'll do it with me. And
don't do it with me.
Don't do it, George. Don't do it.
Tell me.
No, don't do it, George. So already plan ahead. If you've invited your prospect to the meeting, plan with your upline or someone that you are going to do a 3-way with as well before the meeting. Yes? Because, again, Noel knows Ray, right? And he's like, yeah, I know Ray. But he's actually stopped listening to Ray because they know each other so well. I'll come in, and Ray has set up, Bianca, can you sit down with me and Noel before the meeting to have a bit of a chat? Yes, I can do that. I'll now explain to Noel a little bit based on Ray's permission. And Noel's like, oh, okay, great. He's actually listened to me completely differently to how he's listened to Ray. And so we've set Noel up to come into the meeting with fresh new eyes and ears in a structured way that's not just thrown. Now, if Ray, does that make sense for everyone? Thank you for communicating it well. So if Ray then comes to me in the meeting, before the meeting, hasn't framed anything up with me, he says, Bianca, can you just come and sit down and talk to Noel for a little bit? To be honest, I'm too busy. Yeah, okay. No, take responsibility. That's just I'm just being out there. Take some responsibility, Ray. You've done all this work to get in here. Now plan a little bit more in having that 3-way chat before the meeting starts. Yeah, it's really important to do that because that can make or break a person before they listen to the meeting, because there is a way to set up the meeting. The meeting is 50% of what you're going to hear today will make sense. 50% won't, because it's a broad meeting. Everyone, everyone's different. So we will fill in the gaps at the end of the meeting, just so that you know that. But what I want you to pay attention to is you're going to hear some people share from the room their health results and how they're working with us. I really want you to listen in to those people. And I want you to work out who resonates with you the most.
The reason you say that, guys, is this. If you've got a business type guy up here and you don't say that, you've got a housewife who says, I'm not a business guy, I can't do it. If you've got a housewife up here and the business guy says, I'm not a housewife, I can't do it. So what you do, look, 50% will resonate, 50% won't. I'll fill in the gaps later. The bits that don't resonate, he doesn't concentrate. The 50% that he doesn't concentrate. The 50% that he doesn't resonate with, he won't judge the rest of the meeting based on what he doesn't resonate with. He or she will listen to the bits that with which he or she does resonate. Does that make sense? Yeah, clear on that, everyone?
And you've got to have that because you've got to have that conversation because people are wanting to like and trust you. So I've seen people from other states invite people to this meeting and not give them any background about the meeting, and people come in and go, oh my goodness, what is this? No one told me about the meeting. No one told me about there would be people here. I'm like, oh great.
I can see the work on us, it doubles, and
so then I have to go and try and make this person feel really comfortable, break down the barriers. But this could be something that you've invited as well. So when you frame them up to listen to what they're going to listen to in the meeting, this is what happens. George taught me this. Oh, she said that was going to happen. Oh, she said that wouldn't all make sense. Oh, she told me that people would talk in the meeting and clap a little bit. So now they're trusting you more as well. And at the end, when they've resonated with something, they've really got a like and a trust for you to make an easier yes.
During the meeting, this is what you do. Pay attention to the people here. And even though you've heard stories time and time again, laugh along with it. Just laugh if it's a joke, But you've heard my stories 1,000 times.
And then just slap in the face on it. Do that later.
Just laugh. And don't be on your phone. I'm going to tell you guys, if again, as time evolves and we get better and better and better over the next 6 months, I can tell you what I have done in meetings is gone up and grabbed somebody's phone and chucked it in the bin. Don't be doing that, guys. Don't be doing that because it's hard up there. You know what I'm saying, don't you? Yes. It's hard. And this is not, the responsibility for the room is not this people. Responsibility for the room is these guys. You guys. And you can be thinking about your girlfriend, I don't care. The person up here, or your boyfriend, or both. Up here, all this is, let me clear you in, for those of you doing meetings, this is a one-on-one discussion to a group. This is not a pitch, it's a one-on-one. If I talk to a person one-on-one, that's what I'm saying. It's a one-on-one discussion and it happens to be a group of people. And at the end of it, and laugh at the jokes and clap, don't go crazy, guys. Oh, up there, whoa! But the Moonies here, man. Just, it's fun, just be there. Just be there. At the end of the meeting, do not run a meeting after the meeting with your prospect.
Does everyone know what that actually means?
Yeah. Let me explain. Don't say, what did you think about that? Because you're not after their opinion. You know what their opinion? You want action. They've heard the testimonials. You hear the way the meeting finishes, get back to the person who invited you, and let them know what you want to do. Well, do you see an opportunity for yourself here? Do you see an opportunity for the products or the business? Not what did you think? Got any question? Did you like that? Their opinion is not your issue. They've heard what they need to hear. Although they may have questions, that's okay as well. Do you see it? Good. Do you see an opportunity? What I like to do is go and make myself, if I've got 3 or 4 prospects, I like to go and make myself a cup of tea and come back. Whoever is still sitting here is in. Because I've given them the chance to leave with dignity. So you don't need to pounce on them. And don't you pounce on them. But I don't mind. They've seen it. So I just to see an opportunity to give the products or the business. Well, okay, see an opportunity. That's okay. What if you've got 3 or 4 people? Do you see an opportunity for yourself for the products or business? Yeah, I do actually. Okay, a couple. You see an opportunity for yourself. Oh, yeah, there's a lot of fine. Goodbye. Thank you very much. Get them out quick as you can so you can talk to the people who are the prospects. What if more people turn up? You know, you at 6 o'clock, you've got 4 or 5 people turn up. What do you do? First, you say, great. And nobody ever turns up all at the same time anyway. And there's enough people around who understand a bit of edification. Oh, Yuck is so busy, or Bill's so busy, that they'll fill in the gaps. The same sort of thing. It's a good problem to have. You know, I've had bands, oh, I've got 6 people turning up. First day, only 3 of them are going to turn up.
Okay, there's been impossible for 6 turn up.
Yeah, I know that. I know. Okay.
But it's true. Only half of what you invite normally will turn up. And they will never, if you invite them all for 6:15, not all of them will come at 6:15. Some will come at 5:45, 6 o'clock, 6:30. They'll all come at different times. So don't panic.
And finally, guys, remember, all of us are window dressing for you and your prospect. You understand that? All of us are there to help you with your prospect. That's this week, because next week, all of us will be helping somebody else with their prospect. We're all in the game together. You know as well as I do. We get a few more people, we get a few more people, we get a few more people, we get a few more people. Creates a bushfire. There's probably not a lot of things to say. Creates a tsunami, which gets rid of the bushfire. No, creates a tsunami, which is great. One little clip. By the way, guys, if you haven't got your ticket for the Success Summit, get your ticket, guys. It's going to be huge. We're very excited about it. It's going to be a very different meeting to any other meeting that you've seen. Very in ever. A lot of Q&A, a lot of role play.
Oh, that's right. Sorry, I'm going to do the video. So when you finish that, I want to talk about the Success Summit really quick.
Okay. Video first, please.
Oh, okay. Video first.
Why did I do opportunities? Okay, I could have set people down one-on-one. Would that work? Of course. Okay. So one of the great things about Herbalife is anything will work. Okay. The question is how fast it works, how quick it works for you, and more importantly, how quickly it works for the people that you get in. Okay. And so I was always interested in fast. Okay. So the opportunity meeting was set up for me to invite people all day long and get them down to the opportunity meeting. And that way I could do all 8 or 9 people that I've gotten during the day that came to the opportunity meeting. I could pitch them in 1 hour instead of spending 7 hours to do it. Okay? And so that was really the goal. The second reason why I like doing it at the opportunity meeting is that's where I had my testimonials and my other people that had their income. Not that my testimonial wasn't impressive enough, and my income wasn't impressive enough. But see, I'm not enough, and I know that. You see, what you want to have in an opportunity meeting is as many people as humanly possible talking. Okay, and that's why I'm not doing all this meetings completely by myself. That's why we have other people talk about doing the retail. That's why we have other people doing the recruiting. That's why we're going to bring up the guest team. That's why we're going to bring up the millionaire team. Because the more people that you can hear from, and the more different backgrounds you hear, and the more different circumstances, and where they were, and where they came from, and what their first month's income was, and what it is now, the more eyes that you can see, the more somebody, okay, there's going to be somebody today that you're going to see, that you're going to say, hey, if that person can do it, I can do it. And that's the most important thing that can happen to you in Herbalife. And you never know when that's going to be. Probably going to be here today. But if it doesn't happen here today, it could be the next SGS that you go to. You just never know, okay? But here's the elements of what makes you.
Okay.
Person in the room, you guys got to learn how to do meetings.
I like this one.
Yeah, I like
You're not doing meetings, you got to know how to do meetings. Period. Okay? That means you got it. Every one of you guys in the back, all you girls in the back, you got to get up and do meetings. Do the products, do the marketing plan, do the close, the whole thing. You got to know how to do it all. Okay? You want to get like up here and get like me. You want to get like the chairman club members down here. You want to get like the president's team members. Okay? They all know how to do meetings. Okay? And so you've got to know how to do the meetings. We're not going to go through what's happening in the meetings. You guys know what to do. Okay? Here's what you do to do a meeting. Do one. You know what? Do one. Okay? And then if you don't do it so good, do another one. If you don't do it so good, do another one. Trust me, you'll get good at it if you do it enough times. You won't keep getting up there and being a flop. Trust me. You'll do it better and better and better. You got to learn how to do training. You don't know how to do a training? Easy. Go to one of the trainings, listen, learn, and then do one. Listen, learn, and then do one. See, you don't really got it in your mind until you're doing one. Okay? You're listening to it, you're absorbing it, okay? But it's going in one ear and out the other until you got to get up there and actually say the stuff. When you say it, you're going to know it.
Very good. One thing, I just want to say thanks to Anva for doing the nutrition workshop today, because I have my doubts, because I was actually very impressed, because what he said, I gave it to him from an article, and he actually said all the right things that he was supposed to say. And I was like, I don't know what he's going to do. And he did it really, really well. And he's getting better each time he gets up to do the presentation. And so in the BBA group, this is what I would suggest that we all do, is that on a Sunday, we have this Q&A. I would like for our group to already have our questions ready for Sunday. So you can write the question in the BBA group. So it's the question you want with who you want to answer it. So does that make
That's
sense?
a question about anything, about fit club, nutrition club.
Anything, it could be about business, it could be about products, about anything. Write the question in the BBA group and who you would like to answer it. It doesn't have to be from this room either. It can be from anyone in Victoria Herbalife.
It doesn't have to be any of the speakers.
Yeah, it could be anyone from the
On
crowd.
Sunday morning, the Superfast School for 2.5 hours, Q&A. You can ask anything you want of anybody, but it's got to be written questions before Sunday.
So we should, as a group, as part of BBA, part of leadership, is actually start to think and be proactive in doing this now. So share your, and also we can have a list of questions that we can be able to give that we're not all asking the same questions either. So we can ask the question, who wants to actually answer it, who you want to answer it, and we can have a list in BBA. So if someone starts, then we can put all the rest in the comments. Yeah? Yeah, cool.
All right, guys, so big weekend. We're looking forward to it. We're looking forward to it. Wayne is more excited than I've seen Wayne Levy in years.
Yeah.
It's going to be a really fantastic overall business one. So Saturday morning, again, guys, get there early. You know, you never know what you're going to learn before the meeting. You never know what you're going to learn before the meeting. So the gig starts at 10 o'clock. We've got speakers briefing at 9. Some of you are in that briefing, and we'll be there at 7.
Are you going to be there, Master?
Sure.
You can't bet.
I'm always there. Thanks, guys.